Today, I'm going to explain the carnivore diet in less than 5 minutes. I'm going to give you a clear explanation of the carnivore diet. I'm going to break down the basics, talk about the pros and the cons, and give you the chance to make an informed decision on whether or not you want to try the carnivore diet. All right, first of all, to understand the carnivore diet, let's just take the definition of carnivore. The definition of carnivore, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is an animal that feeds on flesh. The National Geographic Society also says that a carnivore is an organism that eats mostly meat or the flesh of animals. All right, so given that, let's talk about the carnivore diet. Now, Harvard's definition of the carnivore diet, I'm going to read this here as follows. It's someone that only allows for the consumption of meat, poultry, eggs, seafood, fish, and some dairy products and water. Wikipedia, if you go online and look at their definition, they say it's a high protein fad diet in which only animal products such as meat, eggs, and dairy are consumed. In reality, this definition is a bit misleading because they don't mention anything about like organs, like for instance, liver that people eat on the carnivore diet. They don't talk about animal fat. And I guess that's probably, you know, when they say meat, they're meaning that there's fat too, but that is kind of separate. There's other ways to get fat as well. And it's just not very simple. So let's simplify that definition a little bit. So the best way you can say it is that the carnivore diet is a way of eating that only includes animal products such as muscle meat, organs, animal fat, eggs, and dairy. Now that's the carnivore diet overview, but it's probably better to say what is not part of the carnivore diet. Any type of plant material at all is not part of the carnivore diet. This would include coffee, for instance, technically is not part of the carnivore diet. But here's where things get interesting. Remember back to that original definition there where I was talking about carnivore and I said mostly meat? That doesn't mean that just because somebody drinks coffee that they're not doing the carnivore diet. Technically speaking, you don't take any plant material, but there are plenty of people that are doing the carnivore diet and will drink coffee, for instance, or something like that, right? So just because they drink coffee does not mean they're not doing the carnivore diet. So try not to get too wrapped up in all that, okay? But here's the thing for people that you really, really need to remember if you're looking to get started on the carnivore diet right now. The carnivore diet is an elimination diet. You're eliminating most foods out there. You're going to eliminate plant food, plant material, whatever that they give to us and say is food, but you're going to basically just eat fatty meat. You're going to, probably season with salt or something like that. And you're going to drink plain water. That's pretty much the basics of the carnivore diet. So let's look quickly at the pros and cons. I've kind of talked a little bit about some of this, but a big pro is that it's an elimination diet. So you're getting rid of all the foods that are causing issues for you, foods that are causing inflammation in your body, foods that are making you tired, and so forth, right? So you're going to gain energy, you're going to feel better, you're going to have some pain relief, and this is going to happen pretty quickly with the carnivore diet. So that's a big pro of the carnivore diet. A lot of people fix a lot of health issues or at least improve them. Okay. So let's look at probably the biggest con. And this is going to sound funny, but the biggest con is really that it's an elimination diet. And that what I mean by that is that you are not eating all the foods that you're used to eating. You've been eating a standard diet, you've been eating a lot of carbs, and you no longer eat those. You restrict those from your eating. And that is really hard because, thinking about like foods like cookies, chips, cake, etc., like that, right? You're going to crave those foods if you were eating them before and you go to an elimination diet like the carnivore diet, you're going to crave those foods. So that is something that you have to keep in mind that it can be really hard because of that. Second con that I'm going to give you is that early on, those first couple weeks, you can have a lot of issues switching over to the carnivore diet. If you go straight into carnivore, there's a chance that you're going to have issues with diarrhea. You might have fatigue, that kind of stuff for a few weeks, and then things get better. The best recommended way there to get started, complete elimination, is to start with fatty meat, water, seasoned with salt, and that's pretty much it. So, are you ready to take that next step in your health and start the carnivore diet? Let me know in the comments below.